Starts first down and 10 at their own 10-yard line. And Tevin Coleman with some running room. Tevin Coleman down the sideline. Coleman, one man to beat. Tevin Coleman's going to go 90 yards, and Indiana takes the lead. Randall L. scrambles, thought about the pitch, keeps it himself down the sidelines. He could go. Antoine Randall L. touchdown. Roy going to the single coverage, end zone. He hits Cooper again.
Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? Welcome to the first annual Golden Pint Awards 2024, brought to you by somebody. It is 20. It's the
I know. I was so
Awards.
confused.
In there. I'm your MC, the host of the show, here with, as you heard, Seth, who's here to help me along the way here. No Brandon. Again, I guess he does not a big award show guy. Isn't there a big real award show coming up soon? Oscars or something?
The Oscars were just announced today, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. But hold on,
right.
you also have to introduce our live studio audience. We have don't we have a live studio audience with us tonight?
Yeah, they're here.
There they are.
Yeah. So they'll be hopefully cheering along for all of the awards as they are announced. This is brought to you by you guys. So if you don't like it, be mad at yourself. Let's fight. Let's have interfan fighting on the Twitters and whatever. I don't know if we should even do Twitter anymore, but I don't know if we can get everybody over to Blue Sky or whatever else is available. I don't know. We'll just keep rolling with what we've got.
It's all bad.
Before we get to the award show, don't they do dumb stuff before they do the actual stuff? I'll go through a couple of quick updates. I didn't write anything down, but it's just now kind of hitting me. Coach Signetti continues to win more and more Coach of the Year awards. If you name the Coach of the Year, he's in it. Unless it's a conference, it's not the Big Ten. And then we also finished 10th in the AP poll at the end of the year. Some preseason way too early polls kind of have us sitting anywhere between 15 and 17 to start the next year. And FanDuel has released their futures. Believe it or not, Indiana football, 8.5 over under. Favorite for over.
Say what you texted.
What did I text?
Yeah, you got it.
I think. I don't know. What did I text? Because you said something about the schedule. Do you want me to say that?
You said,
part?
have we arrived?
Have we arrived? And then Seth, I believe, replied somewhere along the lines of, I think it has to do with the schedule. And I said, we had a damn easy schedule last year, and they only gave us plus 3.5 or over under 3.5.
All I said was remember the schedule. But yes.
Yeah.
Yes, the same
Remember
bad
the schedule
that they said 3.5 last year. Now they're saying 8.5. So yes.
Yeah. And this one's harder. On paper right now, this one's a harder schedule. Away to Iowa, away to Penn State, away to Oregon. Those are the three toughest games on the slate as of now, January 23rd, right? A lot's going to change over the next 7 months. So yeah, that's where we're at. I think it's all really exciting. I think there's a ton of momentum. We're going to have a ton to talk about over the offseason. And let's get the award show underway. Seth's got a hard out in about 38 minutes. So hopefully we can get you guys in and out of here pretty quick with your awards. Again, you guys chose these. We're going to go in order, same order we went in when we did the nominees, and give maybe a little bit of insight. Maybe we'll let Seth talk about what you guys did and how you screwed everything up. So, all right, here we go. The award for best atmosphere. Nominees: Washington, Purdue, Nebraska, and Michigan, all home games. Seth, we have the winner.
With 37% of the vote, Nebraska.
Yeah, the homecoming game, Nebraska, the one I didn't get to go to. Now, I went to the other 3 listed. So, of course, I'm selfish. I'm going to say Washington. But again, I didn't get to experience in person that Nebraska feeling. I got to see it on my way to the airport to go to Vegas. So what a great way to soak it in if you can't be there, right? So yeah, I mean, there's no shocker to me, honestly, with that one being picked. But me personally, I would have gone Washington, Purdue, Michigan. Maybe the only reason I have Michigan so far back on that is because I don't. How do I put this?
You don't want to give.
I had I was gonna say I had a sober driver, is what I was gonna say, and so I did partake quite hard in the pregame tailgates, so I don't necessarily remember the atmosphere per se. So, and the people in front of me kind of stunk. Whatever. That was very Brandon kind of accent on that. So, all right, moving on. Nebraska wins best atmosphere. IU hosting Nebraska won the best atmosphere of the season. So, congratulations if you voted for that. If you didn't, then sorry. So, moving on. Best offensive play of the season. Seth, the nominees: Rourke to Surratt, 36-yard touchdown against Michigan to make it 14-3 early on in that game. Kind of set us up for the win. I think without that, it's a much tighter game or possibly a loss. Nominee number 2, Ellison, 31-yard touchdown right before halftime against Nebraska to make it 28-7 going into the half. And then the last nominee, Rourke to Surratt, the 84-yard broken play touchdown against Purdue to blow the game open way early in the second quarter at 21-0. Seth, the envelope, please.
Rourke to Surratt for 36-yard touchdown against Michigan.
Yeah.
That one was a barn burner. His 2 touchdowns were neck and neck for a lot of the voting, but that one eked it out at the end.
About 6%. Yeah, roughly 6% on that one, which is a handful of voters, to be honest. So the importance of that play, obviously, it was an insane throw. I mean, Rourke was getting blasted right as he threw the ball, and a sick move right off the line from Surratt to get by, I believe it was number 10 on Michigan, just blew right past him, and no safety over the top. He had a good 5-yard gap between him and the corner, and it's perfect pass, perfect catch, perfect spot. So
if my memory, that's Zeke Berry, and he had a really good game otherwise, but
that
touchdown was
that name doesn't sound familiar, but that guy, that particular number, I remember had quite a game. And honestly, let's be real. I mean, the second half, Surratt was not good. He had 2 big drops in the second half, specifically in the fourth quarter. One back shoulder, which he never dropped all season, that would have put us near the 2, and then that was scored, and we would have just never had any of the drama down towards the end. And then another one, I believe, on a 3rd down or a 2nd and long, kind of a wheel route or crossing route coming towards my sideline, the near sideline, that he dropped. Like, not even hit and dropped, just dropped. So I will give him a little bit of credit. The back shoulder throw, he did have to jump in the air, land on his back, and hold on to the ball, and he just didn't quite do it. So, all right, moving on. Best defensive play. I don't know, or I guess I didn't expect this to be as so heavily one-sided as it was. Maybe I didn't do a very good job of explaining it in the poll, but I didn't know that there were very, very, very limited characters allowed in the poll questions or in the poll choices itself. So here are the nominees: D'Angelo Pond's pick 6 against Washington, the Michael Kamara fumble recovery on UCLA's first drive to set up IU going up 14-0, and the Sean Asbury 78-yard sideline interception return against Nebraska, just a shoelace away from making that game at that point. I think that would have made it 35-7 early third quarter. I mean, the game ended up being a complete disaster for Nebraska either way, but where did we end up on this one, Seth?
The winner, D'Angelo Pons, pick 6 against Washington in an absolute blowout.
Yeah. 85% of the vote came in on that one. I had this down for best atmosphere for a reason. The game started a little rocky offensively, and then they start driving pretty easily down the field. And I remember it specifically, and I talked about this in the last pod, but in case somebody missed it or didn't listen to that one, I turned to my wife and I go, we haven't trailed all season. We're going to be down at least 3-0 after this. And then bing, bang, bong, done. Just an incredible play off the edge. A little tip. I think I've gone back and watched that play 50 times since it's happened. That's exaggerating, maybe 20. But yeah, it's insane. And again, props to the camera guy on BTN. What an incredible shot. And again, if you haven't taken enough time to go rewatch it, just go rewatch it and watch the camera shot of the way that he zooms out as Pons is approaching the end zone by himself is pretty sick. So, yeah, congratulations, D'Angelo Pons, for your first ever Golden Pint. So, many more to come, I'm assuming. Next, best game. This one was tight, but one of the choices not so tight, and I was surprised. Again, didn't have a lot of room to explain why I included this game. I don't think you told me not to include this game, but I'll go through them, and you guys can figure out which one I'm talking about. So, nominees are Nebraska, the win 56-7, what I call the arrival game. And then we had the win at Michigan State while trailing 10-0 and 41 unanswered points to go on to win 41-0 or 41-10. Sorry. And then the Purdue bucket game at the end of the season, 66-0. Everybody knows how that ended. And what an incredible, magical, snow covered. I don't even know where I was going with that, but it just an incredible looking visual game all the way around. So, Seth, where did we go and how close was it?
The winner, Nebraska, the arrival game, with 49% of the vote edged out the Purdue game, which I expected the Purdue game to have a pretty healthy showing. Thought it might win, but 5-point difference there. And then Michigan State, I mean, I'm surprised they got any votes, but that's I did not tell you to take it off. No, I did not.
There were two obvious answers. Some of these had some real obvious answers, and I think that Nebraska and Purdue were obvious. Could you put Maryland in there? I think that was one of the
get over the hump game. That's what I would have called that.
That's yeah. I can't remember if one of the listeners put in Maryland for that game or the atmosphere part, but that was one that was omitted. I think that the rain and kind of the overall sloppiness of that game kind of, poo-pooed on it a little bit for me. But yes, I mean, it again, with that type of weather and the crowd at that point in our season was impressive. I mean, granted, 2 or 3 weeks later, if that game's played, it's a sellout. So, yeah, great choices. I think that if you watch the polls early on that one, Purdue had a heavy lead. I mean, that game was that was a very heavy lead early on, and then as the votes kept coming in, Nebraska ended up taking over. So that's it for the game awards, the Golden Pint Awards. I'll recap those real quick, and congratulations to everybody for their first Golden Pint Award. Best atmosphere goes to the Nebraska game. Best offensive play, Rourke to Surratt, 36-yard touchdown against Michigan. Best defensive play, D'Angelo Pons, pick 6 against Washington. And the best game, the Nebraska homecoming, a.k.a. arrival game, 56-7. So now we'll move on to the Coach Player Awards. We've got through that pretty quick. What I will do is on some of these, if not all of them, as they are announced tomorrow officially on Twitter, may include some clips from the game, like specific plays. stuff like that to kind of go along with the winner, give them a little flash. You know what I mean? So, this one, moving on, player coach awards. We're going to start with the coach. This is not the way I thought this was going to shake out, at least as far as how big of a landslide it was. I do think that the winner is deserving, but let's go best coordinator position coach. Nominees: Bryant Haynes, defensive coordinator; offensive line coach Bob Bostad. Everybody knows Bob. And former co-offensive coordinator, I believe was his position, and quarterbacks coach Tino Sinceri, who has moved on to UCLA now. Seth, envelope, please.
The Golden Pint winner, Bryant Haynes.
Yeah, not at all surprised by that. I mean, just an incredible defense all season. And honestly, if we're going to look at anything, there were 1.5 games where you could be like, we kind of got just worked a little bit, right? You can't really say that against Ohio State. We've gone back and given all those excuses. I mean, outside of one 56-yard run that he should have scored on that he didn't score on, that was the only big play in that game for them. And then I'm trying to think, the other game I was referencing was Maryland. I think Maryland had some spots in there that kind of made you feel a little uneasy about how the defense was going to look, but none of it ended up being like that. Again, top 10 defense pretty much across the board in all the major stats. And Notre Dame was really the only one that made us kind of look, inept for 2.5 quarters.
Let me defend the Maryland thing really quickly, and it is that Maryland had 2 really good receivers. They had 2 pretty good running backs going in, and the receivers were effective early on in the game, but because they couldn't run the ball, and eventually those receivers got the heck beat out of them, they eventually wore down. And so what Bryant Haynes really did was he figured out that he had the players who could outlast and out attrition the other team, and made the changes to really put a stop to it. So, his first half, not great, but the second half was really strong. And I thought that he really turned that around. So if you want to say 2.5 games, maybe I can understand where you're coming from, but really solid and made a lot of really good in-game adjustments that we just had not seen in previous regimes.
Yeah, I mean, 2.5 games out of 13, I'll take every season.
Right.
Please. So, yeah, very well-deserving winner. Congratulations, Brian, on your first ever Golden Pint Award. All right. This one, I think a lot of these player awards, I'd say almost all of them outside of one were kind of a landslide. And so we'll get into that real quick. And I didn't. Oh, yes, I did. Okay. So let's go on. Best transfer. And you had 31, 32. I can't remember how many we had, but you had quite a few to pick from. Nominees, we only listed 4 just to, keep it fairly decently easy to vote. Quarterback Curtis Rourke, cornerback D'Angelo Pons, wide receiver Elijah Surratt, and defensive end Mikhail Kamara. Why can't I talk right now? I have no idea.
You've never been able to say his name. We're like 45 episodes of this.
I know. It's like I just stroke out every time I try to say his first name. All right. So this one, again, landslide. Seth, how did it play out?
No surprise here. The winner, Curtis Rourke.
Yeah, the Maple Magician. What do they call him?
Canadian bacon. I don't know. Curtis Pork.
I can't remember. It was a maple. It was a maple something. We just called him Rourke. We'll stick with Rourke. All right. Congratulations, Curtis, on your second one. So next one surprised me quite a bit, and I'm kind of upset about it. But again,
boy, come on. Don't get in your feelings.
Okay. Next one is best leftover, meaning the best remaining players that made it through the attrition of the roster. Those people being Amari Farrell, Mike Big Cat Kadick, and Omar Cooper were the three that we had listed. I think you could have dropped a couple more in there. Carter Smith could have been a nominee as well. But I think those were the three biggest impacts. I think Carter kind of had an up and down season. That's what you're going to get with a true sophomore. So best leftover, Seth, where are we at with that one?
The winner, friend of the show, Mike Kadick.
Yeah, Big Cat. So, what did I say? Upset? I was upset about the way.
I don't think you meant that, but yeah,
No,
you had a favorite. You ranked them. I could tell, and
yeah.
I thought you were hoping that Farrell would win. I think that's what I was thinking.
Hoping is maybe not the right word because we love Big Cat. Love Big Cat. As we said, friend of the show. He was vital. I mean, for him to come back for one more year, one more season, what a hell of a season for him to come back for. Just a complete leader on that offensive line and somebody that'll be missed. But Amari Farrell, man, the guy had a heck of a season. 49 tackles, sack and a half, 4 interceptions. He was all over the field. I don't remember him having a bad game, a bad play per se. But we're going to have a lot more of him. We got at least 2 more years of him, and we've got at least 1 more year of Omar. So congratulations, Big Cat, on your way out. Pick up your Golden Pint and enjoy it in the hopefully.
Let me just add this. The other thing that people always forget about is that injury to Kidwell at the beginning of the season. He was the starting center, and so Big Cat had to completely on the fly at the last minute bump inside and play a brand new position. So just kind of the versatility, the last minute change, being the anchor of the offensive line, I think really adds and plus he was the big personality on the team too. A lot of times he was the one who cameras would find. He had the mustache, always good for a quote. So I think from a fan favorite perspective, he's going to get a lot of the edge and benefit of the doubt there.
Yeah. All right, 2 more, and then we'll get into the actual Players of the Year awards, and then we'll wrap up the award show. Best prospect, meaning best freshman, best young player, redshirt freshman, part of the high school recruiting class, any of that. We only gave 4 choices. I think we had somebody chime in with a Mario Landino shout out, which I totally agree. Probably should have slid in there. Again, I hold a very soft spot for Daniel Ndukwe. I think that you guys are going to see over the next year, 2 years or so, when he does get on the field a little bit more, that he is an absolute stud on the edge. And I agree with Landino as well, but I think we've got some real talent in the young guys. And so let's get through those real quick. Linebacker Elijah Hardy. As I said, defensive end Daniel Ndukwe, tight end Sam West, and kicker Nicholas Radicic. Radicic.
Oh my goodness. You were right the first time. Stick it. Yeah, there you go.
Radicic.
Stick the landing.
All right, Seth. Best prospect is
the winner, Elijah Hardy.
And for those of you thinking, Elijah Hardy, who is Elijah Hardy, right? If you're listening to our podcast, chances are you know who Elijah Hardy is because you're a psychopath for listening to an IU football podcast in January. So you know who he is. But just in case you don't know who he is, number 21, he was the one running around the field more towards the end of the season or in the beginning of the season, kind of in the what do they call those? The end of the games where it's a complete trash show, right?
Garbage time.
Trash
show. You're so close.
He was out there too, right?
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how he earned his reps towards the end of the season. He started to come in. He played a whole game for Jalen Walker and the full half at least.
Mm-hmm.
It was a full game. Can't remember which one it was, but he's incredible, and he built that kind of reputation as the season went on. 22 tackles, 1 sack, 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 2 forced fumbles from a true freshman. And he looks the part. I think he's going to be a really good player down the line. So congratulations, Elijah. Pick up your pint. I don't think you can drink yet, but hang on to it till you can.
We won't tell anybody.
We won't. But we don't support our players.
No.
Drinking. We do not do that.
Can
Okay.
I petition that we call that the Matt Holt Award moving forward? The honorary Matt Holt Award.
Okay.
You don't write it down. You're just.
I'm gonna write it down.
It's okay.
AKA Matt.
I'm the only person who cares.
Holt. Where's the H at? HOLHT.
Damn it, we do this.
There's another H in there. HOH.
We'll just Google it another time. It's fine.
Right.
Let's keep this going.
All right. But is he the best he's just like the best random walk-on linebacker that we had. I'll tell you what's not the Matt Holt Award, and what's the next one. And it's probably a mean award, but I think it's necessary. This award isn't much of an award as it is just a call out. But this award, the Golden Pint, is called Biggest Disappointment. Your nominees, Donovan McCulley, cornerback JoJo Johnson, and safety Josh Sanguinetti. One is not like the others. The other two were incredibly disappointing for other reasons, and one just didn't quite do what we thought he was going to do. So, Seth, hit us.
The winner, D-Mac.
Yeah, I hesitated letting the crowd cheer on this one.
Oh, God.
Because, again, not much of an award.
The crowd has their own mind, man. We can't control what the crowd's doing.
That's
free
true,
country,
guys.
remember?
I don't know about cheering for that one.
Yeah, that was a bad decision, guys.
We could have done something else, like a ta-da or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, I'm sure he's gonna be fine in Michigan next year. But what a disappointment. Never really caught on to the Signetti way. You could especially tell in the offseason when he was naming him in press conferences, saying, yeah, we've been on McCulley. We've asked him to do this. We've asked him to do this, and he's doing it. And then he doesn't do it, or we don't see him on the field because he's not. It doesn't matter. We don't know for sure. We're gonna miss him, and I think that's more the part of the disappointment was that we were really looking forward to having a big year from him, and because we know how good he is, and we wish him well at Michigan since we don't play Michigan next year.
That makes it easier.
It does. All right. Let's get down to the big awards. These are the they're all pints, I guess. I can't make them bigger pints, but the glass itself is made of gold. The Offensive Player of the Year award, Seth. Quarterback Curtis Rourke, wide receiver Elijah Surratt, running back Justice Ellison. As we talked about during the nominee presentation, we think we probably could have slot Lawton in there as well. But based on what I've seen, I'm not sure it mattered. Seth, tell us about it.
The winner for Offensive Player of the Year, Curtis Rourke.
There you go. There we go, guys. That's an appropriate time to clap.
So much better. So much better.
Yes. Congratulations, Curtis. Your third pint. Have yourself a night, bud. Have yourself a night.
The seat filler is just coming in over and over again for Curtis Rourke. You just stay in that seat, buddy. You don't even have to get up anymore. Just stay there.
Don't even. We'll bring the beers to you. So, Defensive Player of the Year. 2 more to go. Defensive Player of the Year and Overall Player of the Year, which...
The big one. That's the big one. That's the one everybody wants.
That's the one. Defensive Player of the Year, Seth, nominees. Okay. Mikhail Kamara, defensive end. Cornerback, sorry. He is in there. Cornerback, D'Angelo Pons. And then linebackers, Aiden Fisher and Jalen Walker. Seth, I've seen the results. I feel like I'm okay with it. I agree. I'm shocked.
There's a little disrespect in there. There's a
I
little bit.
think
There's a
so,
little bit.
but I'm glad that 3 of the 4 are back next year. Seth, let's tell them how it ended up.
The winner, Mikhail Kamara.
Yeah. I mean, well-deserved claps and screams. Yeah, a surprising result. Kamara pulling in 65 points on the polls, while Aiden Fisher, the 118 tackle Aiden Fisher, 20, yeah, right, 24 points. First team All-American Aiden Fisher, only pulling in 24 points. Now, listen, the name I struggle to say, Mikhail Kamara, is an incredible football player, and I've been telling you guys this since the spring game when I saw him. I put eyes on him, and he's the biggest person on the field, and he's also the one running around making all the plays. He's an incredible player. I'm so happy that 3 of those 4 guys are back. Wish Jalen could be back, just totally out of eligibility. Hopefully he goes on to do great things, maybe even making an NFL roster somewhere, but we will see. All right.
The only slight disrespect was just the number. Walker only got 3% of the vote. I thought that. I was hoping that he and Pons would be both closer above 10. But
yeah, I mean, again,
you can't go wrong with Kamara.
Kamara,
yeah.
Let me read Jalen Walker's stats one more time. 82 tackles, 2 sacks, 8 passes defended.
As a linebacker.
2
Off-ball
interceptions.
linebacker.
Yeah. 2 interceptions and 3 forced fumbles. I mean, he had a heck of a season.
Mm-hmm.
Was he a little bit inconsistent? A little bit. Just a tiny bit, right? Every now and then you'd catch him and be like, what are you doing? What are you doing? But other than that, he was very, very good ball player. All right. Player of the year. Here we go. The nominees. Quarterback Curtis Rourke. Defensive end Mikhail Kamara. Just a little clap for him on that one, I guess. Cornerback D'Angelo Fisher. What am I doing? I'm getting them all mixed up. Linebacker. Sorry, D'Angelo Pons. You did not make the Player of the Year nominees. I apologize. You'll be there next season. I guarantee it. Linebacker Aiden Fisher and wide receiver Elijah Surratt. Thank you. That was much better. And I'm assuming you're making up for Kamara's disrespect of like 2 claps for some reason. Seth, again, Rourke, Kamara, Fisher, Surratt. Big one. Tell us about it.
You just sat down. Get back up. It's Curtis Rourke.
Yeah, Curtis Rourke. Oh my gosh. Yeah. That's it. That wraps up the first annual meeting. That there's going to be another one next season if we remember. Golden Pint Awards. Shout out to everybody that voted. Shout out to Pizza X for shouting us out.
Thanks for ruining my 1 sack. All right, great. So there we go. Cool.
Yeah. Oh, sorry about that.
Good.
I thought you were talking about them. I was like, their sacks, their breadstick sacks are
fantastic.
great.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, what an incredible night. What an incredible award show. Thank you, Seth, for announcing the awards and being there for everybody.
Do I send you my dry cleaning bill for my tuxedo? I need to get this cleaned. Yes. I am showered in champagne. I reek of beer and cigarettes. I
send it to our boy Garrett.
Yes.
He does not only own a running company. He's a lawyer. He's a realtor, which we'll tell you about here in just a second. But I'm sure at some point he will have a laundromat,
a chain of laundromats or dry cleaners. Yeah, of course.
Yes,
that's in his future.
Yes. Oh, and we forgot to tell our beautiful audience. Thank you. You guys give yourselves a round of applause. Yep. Thank you for coming. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. We're going to be right back. I think I punched right into Seth's sack, but we'll see in just a second. Peace. Be right back. This episode is brought to you by your go-to expert in the Indiana real estate market. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in a home right here in the heart of the Hoosier country, Garrett Lawton with True Blood Real Estate is the agent that you need. He's not just a real estate agent, he's a Hoosier fan just like you. And Garrett knows Indiana inside and out, from Bloomington to Indianapolis and everywhere in between. Plus, his personalized service makes the buying and selling process smooth and stress-free. So if you're ready to make a move, give Garrett a call at 317-410-8851 or visit his website at lawton-realty.com. All right, we're back. Yes, you heard me skip over Brando's Randos. That's because he's not here. As I said, he's doing his best Mario impression or Luigi. I think he got mad at that when I told him it. He said he's a master of skills or something, and I said, no, you're just Mario. He's being a great friend from what it sounds like. It sounds like a horrible situation for one of his buddies and a former basketball teammate of mine who may have had a pipe situation. So that's
hold on. A plumbing pipe situation,
frozen or burst pipe situation.
Yeah, they're on the pipe together. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, that one. Goodness gracious, Seth, is there anything left in your sack, or did I
have a couple things here.
Okay.
I was right about Zeke Berry. He was number 10 for Michigan, the DB. He had a pretty good game, aside from getting scorched by Surratt on the touchdown. Yes, thank you for Pizza X for shouting us out. Always appreciate that. I did not necessarily as much appreciate the idea that they're then shouting out all the other ones too as a makeup call. That felt a little overkill, guys. Give us the love and then just let it go. It was fine.
Yes, I didn't go and look at that.
No, they were just like, we like all the blogs and all the podcasts. Like, no,
somebody
you like us.
Hurt. Did somebody get butt hurt?
I'm sure somebody sent them aside, like, hey, what about us?
Come on, guys.
Oh, well, it's all right. We knew what was going on. And then just for the home audience, as they do leave my house this evening, turn right and then do a U-E at the light. It's a much easier than turning left out of my neighborhood.
I agree. Or you can go the other way, couple more turns. You do get to see a classic car in the driveway. It's a
Toyota Tercel, maybe.
I think it's a 1983 Honda Accord, brown. Not a tint, not a speck of dust on that thing. That puppy is cherry, bro. Like, it is perfect, but it has not left that spot in that driveway. I swear to God.
I'm going to tell the president of the HOA about it. I'm sure she'll get right on it.
That's your wife, right?
Hey. Oh, yeah, it is.
I was joking. I just assume. I mean, she is very much that type of person. She's a wonderful person. Yes. Don't take it as a bad thing, but she's very much a head of HOA person.
Yeah, she fits the personality type to it.
Yes, yes, she does. Shout out Jana.
Oh, goodness gracious! All right,
yeah, is that it?
That's it. Oh, that's no, Ohio State national champions.
Oh,
like, come on. No, just kidding. We do need to talk about how Ohio State is the national champions. IU played against both of the teams in the national championship. They played against both the teams in the national championship last year. It is really cool. It is kind of interesting to know that Michigan waited all these years to win a national championship, and then Ohio State wins one literally the next year. Just think that's a little
Big Ten back.
Yeah. Remember, they were writing us off. SEC. Yeah. So I don't know. It was kind of fun hearing all the Paul Feinbaums and the SEC lovers of the world just kind of, well, they didn't fall on their own sword because they can't admit they're wrong ever, because that means that, they're fallible. But to have them kind of shut up for a little bit it was really nice. Really
Yeah.
nice. And I hope that continues.
I've got a question because I'm not sure how I feel about it. I'm proud of the fact that our only 2 losses on the season were to the national champion and national runner-up. How do you feel about sites and accounts, national sites and accounts, flaunting that out? I.e., FanDuel, I believe, was one that put a picture of Signetti doing his normal stance, staring up into the sky, saying, "Does this justify Indiana now?" Question mark. Only 2 losses against Ohio State and Michigan, or Ohio State and Notre, something along those lines,
Yeah.
right? How do you feel about that? Because for me, I'm like, I mean, it's fun, right? You could say, "Oh, look at us, we should be ranked 3rd. We lost to the 2 best teams in the country on the road in their house, right?"
Yep. Mhm.
On both of them. So there's
Yep.
not like you guys lost at home or you lost on a neutral site. We didn't. We lost in Notre Dame and we lost in Columbus on 2 incredibly hyped up games. How do you feel about that viewpoint? Are you buying that makes us number 3, or do you think it's all just kind of a joke? Because people are taking it kind of serious, and it's upsetting.
I
think.
know that
Not on our side, the other side.
I know that everything has to be black and white and hot take this and hot take that, but I think there's a giant gray area in the middle here. And that is that, no, you're not the number 3 team in the country. But also the post-game narrative that IU didn't belong, even the pre-game narrative about SEC teams should have kicked these other teams out, these undeserving teams. I never bought into that hype. I thought that was bogus. I thought, holy hell, IU is this upstart team going into one of the toughest environments of America. And of course, they're probably going to get their brains beat in. It's a miracle that they were able to come back at the end to even make it close. So, I mean, for me, that was exactly how I predicted that game to go. If you listen to the pregame podcast, I hate to except for I said 27, I think, or 28 to
you
whatever it was. I was one point off, but even the narrative I had exactly right. But so I never bought into that. And then to see the rest of that weekend play out, it was like, holy shit, none of these teams, if you're going to go by that litmus test, none of these teams belonged in the tournament, in the playoff. And what we also realized is that home field advantage in these meaningful games is an absolute, difference maker. It can't go undenied that having a home game in the playoffs, you look at the scores, they were dominant. So I think what everything led up to, and then we also found out that the 5 through 8 teams are actually the best 4 teams in the country.
Let me ask you a question real quick before I forget.
Mhm.
I know you got to go because that's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Who did, okay. I think I remember everybody that there was. If Arizona State plays that game in Arizona State,
They still lose
against Texas, you think they still lose?
Yeah.
Now, that's probably the only outlier here.
Yep.
Oregon at home against Ohio State.
I think they're probably closer to winning.
I
would
not
give us
that bad.
No,
right?
but it's close. It's closer to 50-50. Yeah.
Okay. Here's a big one. Boise State at home against Penn State. Much closer game, right?
Sure. I'd still say Penn State probably has a 75% chance of winning that game, even though I'm a diehard Boise State homer.
Yeah. And then Georgia at home against Notre Dame. That game was close as it was.
They just had no quarterback to speak of whatsoever.
I mean, I know it sucks to blame it on one play.
Right.
If that walk-on doesn't step in.
Yeah, we're doing this again. Number 39. We're not going to talk about him, but number 39.
That was so bad.
The walk-on
so
from
him,
Cartersville, Georgia. We're not going to talk about him, but he's
his home
a
address.
sociology major.
Yeah. Here's his phone number, and here's where you can find him on a Tuesday.
Apartment 2B. B as in boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Anyways, but yeah, so I think I fall in between there. It's absolutely an impressive feat to say that the only 2 teams that beat us were the teams that were in the national championship. That's an absolute puff out your chest kind of moment. Of course, you're going to hang your hat on that. But also, that's not necessarily makes you a third best team in the country. There were other teams who were probably a little bit more talented. But also, you belonged. You absolutely belonged in the playoffs. If seeding had changed slightly, you would have had a better chance of winning a game. But there was what, you said when we talked about the 8.5 wins for FanDuel, has IU arrived? More than arrived, it's belong. IU now, you could say for years IU didn't belong in the Big Ten, and you had a really hard time defending yourself.
Yeah.
As of this year, to say IU doesn't belong, you'd be laughed at.
What did we play? Like there was always a stereotypical thing, really across the country of, let's put relegation into college football because there's teams that don't belong in the ACC and the Big Ten, and there's teams in that.
Many years, IU would have been in the bottom 2 or 3 that would have been relegated to the MAC or whoever that joke is. Yeah,
you're the 5th team out of your mouth is either in the Big Ten is either going to be Iowa or Indiana now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm pretty sure if you're sitting here going, who's the 5th best team right now? If you go and look at the odds,
positioned
the national championship,
yep. Mm-hmm.
IU is the 5th. I think they're the 5th best odds behind Oregon.
What was it, 15,000?
Yeah, 15,000. I think.
Yeah.
You had Oregon, Penn State. This one surprised me. Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State, and Michigan. Why they keep
Illinois
doing this
was
with
right
Michigan,
close to you. Nebraska was right close to you. There were 3 or 4 teams that were right there in the ballpark, but you were right ahead of them.
Iowa might have been in front of us, but I'm not.
They don't have
sure.
They have no.
There's no chance because Iowa's only 6.5. I think over under in wins. I did look at that because I was like, I wonder how the rest of the Big Ten looks, and they didn't have everybody. There's another one. Yeah, you got to go. Here's another one real quick, and then we'll get you out of here. They only had a limited amount of teams that they did the over-unders for this early in the season or in the off season, and we were one of them.
Yep.
So
you've arrived. Cool. You belong.
All right. We've gone over a few minutes. He's got to get out of here. Cool. Thank you for doing this. Mm-hmm. Of course. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it was really stupid, but we'll hopefully remember to do it again next year. Until then, cheers.
Golden Pint, cheers. Drive home safely.